focus to all the stocks that will be in focus. And first up, let's put the spotlight on the earnings candidates then. And Bajaj Finance, that one reported its numbers and it was largely in line with what the street was working with. Now remember, results were in line, but PAT was impacted on account of one-offs that we saw that weighed heavy on profitability this time around. And this was on account of labour code changes and ECL provisions that the company did in the quarter gone by. Free income, however, improved on a sequential basis. PCR increased due to rise in credit cost across stages, and improvement was seen in cost of funding as well. So that's Bajaj Finance for you, and that one reported numbers that were largely in line with what the street was working with. Let's also talk about Pidilite. Again, in line set of numbers. Revenue has seen an increase of about 10% YOY, but EBITDA margins, they have expanded a tad bit. For the quarter gone by, they came in at 24.1% versus 23.7% that the company reported same time last year. But largely in line set of numbers is what Pidilite reported in the third quarter. Shifting focus to Triveni Turbine then, and mixed set of numbers because revenue is higher than what the street was working with, but on the flip side, EBITDA margins have been weaker than street expectations. So revenue is up 24% YOY, but EBITDA margins have contracted a tad bit to come in at 21.5% versus 21.7% that the company reported same time last year. Nazara Technologies, again mixed set, where revenue is down a whopping 24% on a year-on-year basis. Of course, largely in line with what the street was working with, but margins have in fact risen. They've come in at 16.7%, so that's a solid expansion of about 900 basis points. Alkyl Amine Chemicals, meanwhile, has reported weak set of numbers. Top line has seen a decline of about 5% YOY. Sheela Foam, on the flip side, has reported very strong set of numbers. Revenue is up 11% and margins have expanded to 10.6% versus 9.1% that the company reported same time last year. So yes, a whole host of counters that you need to keep an eye out on, especially on the back of earnings for the quarter gone by. But Rabinder is also joining us to take us through some other set of stocks and news, the stocks that will be in focus on the back of other than earnings. Rabinder, take us through the list.
Yes, on the back of order win, NLC India can be in focus, where company's subsidiary NLC India Renewable has secured a major contract from the SCCI, and this is to set up a 600 megawatt solar project integrated with a 300 megawatt and 1800 megawatt ESS to supply power for the 25 years. So back of these stocks can be in focus. Moving to next, Varroc Engineering can be in focus, where company has secured a strategic 6-year contract with a global EV OEM to supply AC bidirectional wall chargers, and this has an estimated peak annual revenue of rupees 439 crore. NBCC India can be in focus on the back of order win, where company has secured a work order total rupees 271.3 crore from the ICMAI. ERIDA can be in focus, where company's board meet is scheduled to be held on 6 Feb 2026 to approve a fundraising via QIP up to rupees 2,994 crore. SCI can be focused, where company has signed a multi-party MOU with Concur, JNPA and several port authorities to collaborate on acquiring and operating container vessel and asset for end-to-end EXIM and coastal logistics. So back of this, SCI can be in focus. Keep an eye on PFC and REC, where company has clarified that it will hold a board meeting to deliberate on the Union Budget 2026 proposal to restructure PFC and its subsidiary REC to achieve scale and efficiency. From the real estate pack, DLF can be in focus, where company has signed an agreement to sell 17.75 acres of land to Gangapurna project, and land sale to Gangapurna project is for approximately 260 crore. NTPC Green Energy can be in focus, where a company has informed that 125 megawatt Bhadla solar PV project second phase has become commercial. So back of this stocks can be in focus. And lastly, keep an eye on Lenskart, where company's IPO lock-in will end today for 2% of its equity. So back of this, Lenskart can be in focus.
All right. Thank you so much, Rabinder, for joining in. And those are the stocks we will be watching out for before the start of D Street. But with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.